Yeah, who needs laughing gas? Have some of this.
Right. I'll floss on my own, thanks.
All right, tax to the max. When pro golfer Phil Mickelson complained about being taxed to the max in California, the media went nuts.
Mickelson actually had to apologize, or felt he had to apologize, just for speaking his mind.
You know, I've made some dumb mistakes, and obviously talking about this stuff was one of them. My apology is for talking about it publicly, because I shouldn't take advantage of the forum that I have as a professional golfer to try to ignite change over these issues.
Yeah. He's not saying he's not going to move.
No.
Should he really feel bad after all? California is one of the highest tax states in the nation, if not the highest tax. The second one, I think, is New York and Connecticut. Joining us live right now from Miami is Grant Cardone, Mickelson's former neighbor. He left the high tax state of California for Florida, where there is no individual income tax. Are you disappointed that Phil even backtracked yesterday?
Absolutely, I'm disappointed, because I think some of the intolerance for wealthy people standing up and saying, I don't want to be taxed anymore, is that the wealthy people don't stand up and say, hey, I can't afford this anymore. I left California just because my companies were having trouble operating there with the higher tax rates.
Okay, so you did it. Tiger Woods left California a while back. How much do you think he probably has saved in state income taxes?
Oh, over the last 10 years, Tiger's probably saved $80 to $100 million.
Just by moving to Florida.
Yeah, I know, for instance, in my case, I have been able to expand the number of employees in my company by over 25% because of the savings, the money that I'm not spending with the state.
Yeah.
And it's what I've said recently that Phil, California doesn't make his golf game better. It doesn't make his branding better. He doesn't get more endorsements, yet they want more money from him. And that's what they were doing to me and so many other successful people there. They just make it intolerable to live there in that state.
Right. I mean, so Texas is like a magnet. Florida's like a magnet. Texas uses their oil money and says we don't need income tax. Florida says, I got this great tourism thing. We don't need income tax. And now you have Phil backtracking on this. What I'm wondering in the big picture is why there's an American backlash on somebody who's successful and clearly earned it. He isn't royalty. He earned his way through the tour. Why is it more patriotic to spend 60% of your income and give it to the government?
Yeah, hey, I don't get it. I don't know why he didn't stand up. You know, there's no mulligans in golf. You don't get to move the ball if you have a bad shot. His first inclination was to tell people, hey, this is getting prohibitive for me to live here. And then he backtracked on it, I guess, because he's getting some flack. But look, if people don't stand up and tell, if the 0.001%, because that's what he's in, aren't willing to stand up and say, this hurts so bad, I'm considering moving, then the 99.99% aren't going to understand the effect it has on those people.
Sure, and Grant, ultimately, it's almost as if this guy could be Jerry Brown's poster boy. Say, look at, we've got high taxes here, and yet he's staying, Phil is.
Hey, look, the high earners in California should be the poster boys. They should be Jerry Brown's biggest advocates. Instead, people like me are saying, look, I don't want to leave California. I've lived there 22 years. I loved it there. My family was there, my home, my friends. I am now leaving and complaining about it. So rather than being a poster child, a poster boy, and being an advocate of California, I'm actually saying, hey, I got to leave, and now Phil's backtracking. When we all know, I guarantee you, Phil Mickelson will leave the state of California because it's prohibited.
And the people of California only have themselves to blame. 53% say, yeah, raise those taxes on millionaires. Guess what? They're going to leave because they worked hard for their money. Thanks so much for joining us, Grant Cardone, another guy working hard for his money.
He's now a Floridian.